today? Well, today I'm going to have a quick look at 4017 CMOS counter divider. And this is the datasheet for the Texas Instruments CD4017B. Only I haven't got the Texas Instrument CD4017B. What I've actually got is the ST microcontroller HCF4017B. But it is basically the same animal, just made by somebody else. Same specs from what I've seen. The pinout's exactly the same. So really, I suppose I shouldn't have any trouble with it. So let's get on and have a look at it, shall we? So okay, let's have a quick look at this. Let's have a look at the data sheet. Just a quick readout of its basic features. CMOS counter divider, high voltage type, 20 volt rating. There you go. The CD4017 is a decade counter with 10 decoded outputs. You can get an 8 output, an octal counter as well, which is a 4022B. It says here 5 stage and 4 stage Johnson counters having 10 and 8 decoded outputs respectively. Inputs include a clock, a reset and a clock inhibit signal. Schmitt trigger action in the clock input circuit provides pulse shaping that allows unlimited clock input pulse rise and fall times. Marvellous. So this thing can run up to 20 volts. I have read that best voltage is about 12 volts, so that's what I'm going to put into it. I'm going to put 12 volts on the input to power it. Now I need to obviously collect some LEDs or something up to it. Let's see if we can zoom in onto the appropriate part. So this diagram is showing the pin outputs as they'd come. Now it's not that easy to see this, but the top one is pin 14, that's the clock, that's the actual clock input. Next one is pin 13, which is the clock inhibit, of which if that is held high will stop the clock from counting. And the next one is pin 15, which is the reset. Again, if the reset is held high, the counter will reset to its 0 point. And 0, clock counting through to 9, so 10, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are the outputs, but they are not associated with their numbered pin. Output 0 is actually pin 3. Output 1 is pin 2, and so on until you get to pin 12, which is the carry on if you want to decade it onto excuse me, if you want to send it onto another counter or device in the circuit. So really it should be quite simple. I say clock inhibit, reset. Now the plus voltage pin 16, minus 0 voltage is pin 8, at least I think it should be. And then our digits, what we have coming out against the pin number. Now with this I'm going to use 4 LEDs. I'm just going to write the word LED. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then because I need to have a reset, I'm going to take pin 4 out and connect it to pin 15. So sorry, output 4, which is pin 10, and connect it to pin 15. So when it counts 0, 1, 2, 3, and then resets and goes back to 0 from each clock input. So in theory that's very simple. So let's grab the circuit and have a look at this. The other thing that I've done is I've taken the clock inhibit, and pin 13 and tied it down to ground, just so there's no floating point there, just in case it happens to be a bit iffy with me. So let's put some power on it and see what happens. Now that LED is not the first one in the sequence. It should be the one on this side that should come on first. So let's there we go. And nothing happens. Well, doesn't seem to be doing very much, does it? Not getting any results out of this. Now, I have to admit, I spent the afternoon messing about with this because for some reason it comes on but doesn't count. Like we say, we've got the pin 3, which is output 0 over here, and then the next one is pin 2, then pin 4, then pin 7, and then pin 10, which I've tied down to, connected over to pin 15, which is the reset, should reset. But I don't know why it's not working. I've got a resistance in here so that the current into the chip isn't too high, so I'm not blasting it with like an amp of current as soon as I turn it on. But for some reason it's just not counting, just not giving. I'm getting a clock signal onto the chip, so I can have a look at that. So my clock is pin 14, so if I can just get onto pin 14, so you can't even see my multimeter in this shot, can you? Dear oh dear, let's get them do that. So pin 14. Oh, bit tricky. Man, this is just. See, so I'm getting a voltage. Oh, look at that! It's having a right benefit. Perhaps it's just that it's on the breadboard. I don't know. All I know is it's not doing as I would expect it to. Look at that. If I hold my multimeter on pin 14, it works. Take it off and it stops working. So what is it that's allowing this to work? Wow, look at that. Dodgy connections. Perhaps I just have a naff breadboard, because that shouldn't do that, should it? That is for absolute sure. It's not. I don't know. I think what I'm going to have to do is either get another chip or find another breadboard or something, and you can hardly build a circuit with a multimeter attached to it, can I, now? So somewhere along there's something a bit dodgy about this, so I'm going to have a look at this. But yeah, it sort of works, but back to some testing, I think. What can I say? So there you have it, a not very good demonstration of a CD4017 or HCF4017B. I don't know why it's not working. I haven't really got a clue as to what's wrong with it. I'm going to have a play around and mess about with the circuit just to try and understand if there's some particulars. You know, you'll have a special voltage just on this pin, or it's got a, I don't know, there's just something that's a bit quirky about it. You've got to be really picky and careful about different voltages. So I'm going to have a, like I say, good mess about with this circuit and find out why on earth it's so unhelpful, I suppose. Yeah, there you go. If anybody's got any considerations to why it might not be working, what am I connecting up wrong? Is it just because it's on a breadboard? I don't know. Please give us some comments. Give us some ideas as to what I'm doing wrong with this thing. It should be a really simple circuit to put together, but it's not working for me. So there you go. Anyway, if you like this video, and subscribe. Say all comments are welcome, and catch you next time. Thank you.